Good morning, and thank you for joining us on this Tuesday on our social hour. We are here to talk about matters relationship, and of course we are into the final month of the year 2023, and we hope that the months that we have been doing this each and every week, we have added value to your life and to your relationship and to your friendship. And we continue to do exactly that even as we, gear towards the end of the year. So keep us company as we start this particular show all the way. And we welcome your comments, we welcome your questions, anything that you'd like to share with us concerning the topic that we want to discuss this morning. We invite you to do exactly that. And of course, we'll be sampling some of them as we continue to have this very important conversation. And I'm not alone in studio. A panel that always excites me to meet every Tuesday is with me in studio this particular morning. And I'll start with the gentleman on the far left, drum beats. Yeah? CJ Atemo.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm glad. Good to see you too.
You're happy.
Yes, I am. I mean, I have to. I'm sitting right next to the hub, the fountain of happiness. Good to see you, though.
Thank you.
Karibu sana.
Thank you.
And then we have QT with us also this morning. Just, yeah? And the year in style.
I think nikitoka hapa tu nitafute tu date, nitafute mtu.
Mumesikia?
Goodness yote isiende home.
I hope wamesikia. Applications nini on social media unapatikana wapi by the way?
QT Lady Josh on all social media pages. Alafu of course tukimaliza hapa show Radio Citizen Radio number 110 AM to 1 PM.
All right. Yes. Mtafute amesema. And then we have Roberta.
Kami nataka drum rolls.
Okay, sawa. Ndio huyo sasa.
Good morning everybody.
Good morning.
I'm good. I'm happy as usual. I feel good. I'm happy. Ready for today's topic. Yeah. Particularly excited to hear everyone else's opinions today.
Yeah, I'm also waiting. Like today, muni surprise.
Nikumoto.
Anyway, speaking of which, we want to talk about boundaries in relationships. And this does not involve the two of you as partners. We are bringing in the other people. You know, your whole social circle, your friends, and boundaries that you need to set when it comes to how the two of you relate and how you relate now with the other people outside that particular union. And that is what we want to talk about. Wacha nianzie QT. For obvious reasons.
You look too hot not to start.
Too hot not to start, yeah? You know the way you guys sometimes munapata, there are people who somebody is with a partner, mko in a relationship, but unapata kuna wale friends wanakuja sana, yeah? Have you ever had or been in that particular situation whereby it's sort of like there are no boundaries? Ama you've opened up to your friend about something and they're using that information to sort of like paint a bad picture about you to your partner, you know. Ama mulianza tu vizuri mkiwa in love, unaenda ukimwambia these sweet things this person is doing, anafanya hivi. Kumbe yeye unamdescribea potential. Kesho unakuta umechezwa like serikali imebadilika tena, you know, like talk to us about your thoughts on this particular topic today.
You know, Safin, it's good to have boundaries in every relationship, but this particular one for today, we're talking about intimacy, you know, love relationships. It's very important that you put boundaries between your friends and your spouse, especially with ladies. CJ will tell us about the men, but for ladies particularly, it's very important that you put boundaries because you see, it's the ladies that know everything that you're doing, where you are. I'm not saying that you're doing anything wrong, but they know everything about you. They know your past. And sometimes you will find that once your friends start bonding with your man, they start talking to your man. In the first place, why should my friends have my man's number? What are you doing with that? Yes, my friends should not have my man's number.
In case of an emergency, you know.
Those emergencies, that's why you have my brother's number. That's why my brother is there to play that role, either my brother or my sister. But my friends are out of bounds. Because, Safin, let me tell you something. That's whereby they won't find you. For example, I'm with Bobby, I'm watching a movie, or we are wherever we are having fun, you know. And that's calling, maybe I'm not picking, and maybe it's a long distance. Let me use a good example, perfect example. It's a long distance. He's looking for me. I'm not available, but I'm just hanging out with Bobby. We are watching a movie. We are having a few. Then he starts calling my other friend, maybe Safin on the other side. Hey, I'm looking for Cutie. Do you know where she is? Maybe I had not informed him where I am. For example, I'm just giving an example. Hey, walienda na Bobby, they're hanging out, they're even having drinks. You see, you've already given information that you're not supposed to give. I'm the only one who is supposed to give information to my man. And it does not mean that it's bad information or I'm doing anything wrong, you know. I could be working late in the office, but since he's not home, he's maybe abroad or wherever, I just decided, or time just went by. So this information that my friends give to my man, I think that's where the boundaries now, that's where now the thin line, they start crossing the boundaries. It's very important that you keep those boundaries. I'm the only person that is supposed to give my man. And let me tell you, Safin, these friends we call friends, sometimes they are not your friends. They're the ones who are willingly giving information, because a stranger will not give information to my man. No stranger will come and give information to my man or my boyfriend. It's just my friends will give that information and be like, oops, I didn't know that you didn't want me to say that. But of course you knew. I'm the only one who is supposed to channel that information. And sometimes these spouses take advantage. They'd be like, let me just call Safin. See, Safin gives me information. Let me just call Safin.
And I investigate.
And I investigate, yeah. And you see, now that's where the problems start coming from. That's where the problems start bring, because I'll be like, why is Safin giving information to my man? Personally, I think you should protect those kind of boundaries, because it's their friends that give that type of information.
You know, I agree with what you have described, that in the likely scenario whereby there's some information that you want to come from you directly to your partner, then you'd appreciate that kind of a respect from your friends. But you know, Roberta, is it possible to love in isolation like she's describing? Like, my man is my man. I mean, you friends, you're not supposed to even interact with him, don't have his number, don't communicate with him. He's not supposed to call you. Is it possible to really love in isolation and to keep your relationship off limits like she's describing?
I love the way you've asked that question, because before that, I was really agreeing with Cutie. I feel like part of what she said, especially the point where there's some information that should just come directly from you, because I wouldn't expect my person to be calling Safin to find out where we are. Imefikaje hapo hata. But
I've been calling you, you're not picking. It's maybe late in the night.
Call my mom. My mom always knows where I am. You know, such things. I don't know. I don't think tunaweza nyamaza for that long yenye utafanya urealize udem hajaniongelesha leo. Plus, how long is it that you've called me for that I haven't picked up that warrants you to start calling Safin, my friend, you know? Unless it's like a missing persons issue or something.
That's why I'm calling your friends, because
it could be an hour. It's just been you can call my mom or yeah, but other than that, I actually advocate for the complete opposite of that. I always say women can never love in isolation. You can never love a man alone without people knowing about him.
And I remember you saying that the other time.
Yeah, that's why I said I like the way you asked it, because I had forgotten that part. But now that but it's the truth, because that's exactly what I believe in. I believe it's impossible. Let me tell you, as a woman, the day you'll decide that this is my Jaman, then you hide him until you don't want people to know because you're scared. Ile kukuramba itakuramba. You'll find out we are 7 of us and all of us are almost getting married to him, but because he's so mysterious and he's so secretive and private, you don't know anything, you've never had anything, you don't know where he hangs out, what he does, what happens. So I actually advocate for the opposite, which is bring your friends into this, and I'll tell you why. You see, it's really, really nice when you have a community that you've built for yourself of people who love you and appreciate you and are able to tell you the truth. So this responsibility comes back to self. I'm not going to push it to Ati, sijui what is your lover doing, what? No, it's for you. If you yourself, you work on yourself enough to make sure even the people who are surrounding you, you have zero doubts. And if there's something I push for, is for female friendships. Hakuna kitu tamu kama the women in your life loving you, supporting you, being there for you, trusting you, and even you reciprocating the same emotions. Because women, when they love you, when they're in your corner, chef's kiss. There's nothing else I can say other than that. But I say, when you're with someone, even in friendships, please bring your people around other people. Let us be able to see. And if you feel like you don't feel safe around me as your friend, if you feel like Cutie, if you feel like your man shouldn't be calling Safin, then maybe you should chunguza why you're friends with Safin. Maybe you need to think about, is it trust issues I have within myself? And I'm not placing the blame on you, the victim, or the girlfriend or whatever. It's just an example. Yeah. Because it's important questions you need to ask yourself. Is it that I don't trust my man?
Or your friends?
Could be. Is it that I don't trust my friends? What's the issue? Why do I have an issue? Because as it is right now, with the kind of friends I have, if my lover called my friends, I wouldn't think anything of it. I literally wouldn't bat an eye. And if I had a reason to, then that's a point of contention. That's something I need to ask myself. Why do I have an issue with my boyfriend calling Cutie? And why do they call each other all the time? Mbona kila saa tafuta anapigia Cutie? Mbona niachi voicemail ama apigi mamangu ama apigi, you know, such things, such questions. So I think it's an issue. It just boils back to self and being your individual self, working on yourself. When you're very confident, you curate a community that's just the same way as you. People who are very confident, very truthful, very respectful, very kind to you. So even in your relationship, of course, kuna boundaries zenye haziwezi crossiwa. Kuna vitu tu zenye ni outright wrong. Kuna vitu zenye, especially when you're in an exclusive relationship with someone, depending on the rules you've set for yourself within the relationship, of course, hizo boundaries ni non-negotiable. But vitu zingine kama ati sijui alimpigia kunitafuta ama
hizo ni kawaida. But
hizo ni
it starts there. It starts there. I'll come to you. It starts there, yeah? That community that you bring on board. Mmoja wao ndio huwa anafanya hiyo kitu. But we'll talk about that in a bit.
Yeah.
CJ, there is this debate of whether it's right for your partner to have some sort of relationship with your friends or not, including issues as, should I call them basic, as calling them to check where you are and all that. Is it right for your partner to have any form of relationship with your friends?
I don't know whether that's the right question we should ask, because it's very difficult to place certain boundaries in a world that is so interconnected. Because let's say this person already had a certain form of relationship with some of your friends before you started dating. How do you draw the line?
Or even you met because of the friendship.
Yes, so how do you may have been in the same social circles, you may have been in the same network, you may have met at work, and so you have common colleagues, you may have grown up in the same estate, you may have gone to the same campus. So the possibilities also of you having had these friends before you started going exclusive are also high. So will you sit down and say that from today we're not going to be relating with these other people because we have this? That's very difficult. So it comes back to how the two of you do relate, basically, and how you communicate. You know, when Kitty was talking about probably the long distance call, sometimes, and Bobby was trivializing the thing of the, like, how long has it been? See, some of those things have also got to do with the personality of the person that you're dealing with. There's some people who are generally anxious. So if you are going to be off the phone for like 30 minutes, they generally will be anxious. There's some people who will be okay, even if they don't get you for the next 3 days. They will be waiting for you to get to here. Yes.
Her body language, you know?
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. But there are people who will wait. And I'll tell you why. So the people who will wait for the 3 days, then they will wait for you to tell them why they couldn't reach you. Other people will get anxious at 30 minutes. But the thing about how this person is as well, maybe they're working from very far and that's the only time they have. Then you have a scheduled time for having conversations and something. So you're not showing up at the time and they know after this, we're not talking till Saturday. So you're not here within this time. The person has every reason to begin looking for you because this is a scheduled time. The other one probably that I said may take even 3 days. This depends on how the two of you have built communication. And if that communication has been built to a place where they generally know how you do your things, then they know if Cutie has not talked to me till now, there must be something. So they don't have trust issues. They have really built and worked on their communication to the place where he knows there must be a reason why she's not talking right now.
Yeah.
And if I push, maybe she's not in a good place. So let me wait for her to get back to me. So again, it comes back to the person, the maturity levels. Then it comes back to how the two of you have built your communication. So it may not be a matter of whether it is right or wrong for your friends to have this number or have contact. It may just be a matter of, so how far do they go when they have this community? Because it is possible that that community began before the two of you started. So the thing would be, how far do they go? And how are they using their closeness, either to channel their own communication, or what do they do, for example, when you're at a point of disadvantage? You can always tell when somebody is trying to sneak in and compete with you. You can tell. But you can also tell when somebody is just there in your corner, that they're a person that you can go to. They can mediate when the two of you have issues. See, having some of those friends are very good as well, because if I'm having an issue with Bobby and then I need to talk, and I have Cutie's number and Cutie is Bobby's friend, I think it is safer talking to Cutie because she will be objective. She has both of us, than me going elsewhere or then reacting because I feel I am not heard. So it could also work as an advantage at some point. It comes back then to what Bobby was asking, what kind of people do you have
in your
circle? Yeah.
It depends. If you have friends who are objective, friends who are waiting for their turn.
Safina amechomeka before.
No. I'm sticking for a friend. Anyway, Cutie, what's your issue? Because there's really a thin line that we have to draw when it comes to balancing this sort of relationships. Yeah. What would be your issue that would make you uncomfortable with your partner having close friendships and, you know, constant communication with your friends? Like, what is your concern?
I just wanted to correct what Bobby said. She was like, don't love in isolation. I don't mean you love in isolation. You know, I could hang out with my girlfriends when my man is there, but they don't necessarily need to have his number. You know, there are those things that I'm saying. You can keep going. They can be there. They can know him. He can know my friends. But kuna ile part ya sharing your number with your man's number with all your friends. Sometimes, kitakuramba na kikikamkukuramba.
Exactly my question.
I'll give you a good example. There's this friend of ours. So the man was...
And I watch TV.
No, she's not watching. So the guy was abroad, and this guy, funny thing, I didn't have the number. I usually keep my boundaries. I don't like having the boyfriend's number unless it's really necessary. No, I love to keep my boundaries sincerely, because it's not that I'm looking for anything, but nimekwambia kitakuramba. So this guy, I think the chick used to love going out so much, and I don't know if the guy was not comfortable with that, or I don't know why the chick was not telling the guy she was not going out. So the guy used to call the circle of friends, hey, where is she today? So they used to give information. Si nimemwachana kina Bobby pale nini, unajua wana one for the road, nini nini. So you know what the guy did? So that day particularly, the guy was calling, the chick is not coming. So the guy just decided to pop up. Surprise. And he already knew where she was. So he just popped up where he was. And you know, that was the end of that engagement. I'm not saying that was maybe it was just a trigger of many other issues. I'm not saying that was the main issue. But what I'm trying to say is sometimes the boyfriend might take advantage of, he has numbers of your girlfriends. So he might decide, today I'm calling Bobby, today I'm calling Safin, today I'm calling Cutie. Of course, he's going to get different information from that. So all I'm saying is just learn to keep boundaries. And as I've said, I know my friends. I know all my friends the way they are. So I could be like, Bobby is typical peeps. Bobby is easy. You know, we have different girlfriends who play different roles in our lives. I know why Safin is my friend, why she's in my life. I know why Bobby is in my life. I know why Sonny is in my life, you know.
They complement.
Yeah, they complement each other, and they have their different roles. So you can't say because Safin is like this, no one is perfect. So of course, I'm gonna keep these friends because I know what they do for me in my life. I know what I do for them in their lives. So for example, if you know this particular friend, kuna tu hizo trust issues zinakuanga, then don't give them. And Bobby brought another issue of, I don't know if it's Bobby or CJ, they brought another issue, or it's CJ. I used to be a friend. You remember that BFF I was saying? He's my best friend. So he started dating a friend in our circle. And I kind of stepped back. It's common sense. You step back because...
Give them space.
Give them space. Because I can't be hanging out with him the way I used to hang out with him before they started dating with the chick. It's only common sense, Safin. Siwezi kuwa pia tuna hang out, tunashinda pamoja.
Bestie.
Alafu pia, you see, when the chick is calling, tukona cutie all the time. Some things...
But something I wanted to ask you as a follow-up, though, is don't you think when your partner is constantly calling your friends to check on you and ask, sort of like investigate you, it's sort of like a investigative mission. The problem is actually the relationship and not the friend.
There's a reason why you're in that relationship in the first place, Safin. Haizi kuwa perfect. Kuna zile vitu zenye tunasemanga hapa. There are those things you keep on saying here. Lazima ukae na msee wako, umlan venye yako. So kama unajua msee wako ni FBI, wacha kumpatia namba za mabeste wako. Kama unajua msee wako ni FBI. You know, I'm speaking out for so many people because there are those people, maybe tu hiyo ndio issue yake. Ni msee mfiti, but issue yake ni anataka kujua every move that you, kila mali unaenda. So kama unajua msee wako ako hivyo, na already asha move to another place, another country. So it's either you decide, kama unakaa naye akiwa hivyo, and you decide ukae naye akiwa hivyo. But just make sure they don't have the number of your girlfriends. Why? My question is, Safin, why should your boyfriend have the numbers of like 5 of your friends? You know, for me, actually, it doesn't make sense. Ashindagi hapo anaangalia status, oh, you look beautiful today. Acha nikwambie, Safin, but it's true. Bobby anakaa fiti. So if my man compliments and say, oh, Bobby anakaa fiti, anakaa fiti. Get Bobby anakaa fiti, of course Safina anakaa fiti. All I'm trying to say is create hizo boundaries. Usitake kujiekea hizo vitu alafu kuje uanze kukasirika ukwe na makasiriko. So better be safe than sorry. Tafuta medication mapema. Wacha kungojea headache ikam na uko na medication unaweza enda kwa shop upige.
Juu inakuja.
Juu inakam. Nayo inakam, si ati nini ama nini. Inakam.
Prevention is better than cure.
Mr. Roberta. But Roberta, you said you're open to really having a community of friends who you really are connected na na unajua friends wako, uko comfortable na wao. But what would make you uncomfortable?
Okay.
Ile sasa vile wana relate na your partner, what would make you uncomfortable?
First of all, napenda kila kitu Cutie amesema because nimerealize difference yangu na ya Cutie is that Cutie is asking like the important questions, like ana bring out zile vitu kwa ground, vitu zenye enyewe wase wanafanya na vitu watu wanauliza. Si kama mimi mwenye nisha curate community yangu. So conversations zingine hata ni ngumu kuhave. Ati, why do you have my bro? I don't care if you have my you know, so it's that's the difference.
Oh, really? But like what would make you care?
I like it.
What
would make me feel very uncomfortable is blatant disrespect. And this just doesn't go for my lover. This goes for everyone around me. Isn't it social cues? Na Cutie ame mention common sense. Common sense. Kuna vitu tu ni common sense. Si ati, imagine tumekaa hivi, chali yangu akuja kukalie. Ni common sense. Like, you see kitu ati tuna discuss ati, okay, today we're here to discuss what should you do if your boyfriend start on...
Ufanye vitu.
Bro, it's kuna vitu tu zenye, si lazima tuulizane maswali zenye unajua that's wrong. Even in the event that, in your example ya Cutie, ya kushare numbers, sawa, fine, you can share the number, but why are you texting each other all the time? What is this communication behind my back? Why don't you ever mention to me that you went for Cutie's birthday? Why wasn't I invited? She's my friend. I should have known before. You know, kuna tu vitu zenye ni clear. This is disrespectful and this is fine. So what I'd say is, and the only way you can notice that someone is being disrespectful is if we mwenyewe unajua what is right for you and what is wrong. Juzi nilikuwa na text na msee aka make joke flani yenye I didn't find funny or amusing, and I call them out. And this is a very, very close friend of mine, but the joke was in such bad taste. Mpaka the first thing I thought was, kwani hauna social awareness? Hauna common sense? Ama like, ata hizo words zilitokaje, you know? And then you start to realize that, first of all, we're very different. People grew up differently. What you think is very normal for you might not be normal for me. Kama QT, hiyo example amepeana, kwangu inaweza kuwa si big deal. Kwake, it's a big issue. It's actually a deal breaker. So what I'd say is, your own exclusive relationships, please create the boundaries for them. Talk about it. Let's talk about, I don't like it when you go out every day. Can you go out 4 times a week? Okay, fine. I've reduced. I won't go the other 3 days. I'll go 4. Fine. And you, I don't like it when you cook ugali all the time. Can you cook rice? Have these discussions. Ndo msikuja hapa kusema, rice is bad for everyone. Bro, rice is bad in your house. So discuss it within your relationship. Create your boundaries. Create what is, talk about what is disrespectful. What can we do? What can't we do? What's a deal breaker for me? And what I said, you asked me, the question comes back from where, my answer comes back to what you asked me. What is a no for me? Just blatant disrespect. Kuna vitu, I feel like at my age, I shouldn't be teaching. I shouldn't be telling someone, ati, don't go and sit on Safin. Bro, what are we even discussing? If we're exclusive and you like me and we're doing this thing, you should have it in your head that some things are very disrespectful. I can't do them at all, not just in front of her at all. And if you do not want to be exclusive, you can always walk away from the relationship and say, yo, mi nataka kukalia Safin, sawa wazi, to break up, sawa wazi. You know, it's not that difficult. Let's have these discussions. And so within your relationships, create your rules for your relationship. Create your boundaries. Ndo usikuje kukua confused about what is disrespectful. When someone disrespects you, you'll be able to see it so fast, and you'll be able to say, I don't like what you're doing, QT. Don't do it again, please. It hurt my feelings.
And it reminds me, CJ, the same way we've always on this show said that you need to be open and candid about some of these issues that you have as partners. Like, set the rules, set the boundaries, have this conversation so that you get to know how far you can go with the other person. Do we then need to carry this same strategy to our friendships? Because I may have discussed this with my partner, that I don't like it when you have exclusive relationships with my friends and I don't know, you go places without inviting me, I'm not involved. You guys have plans, suddenly I am not involved. But then my friends don't know that. So they feel like they can just, you know, be part of this beautiful love story anytime. I mean, do we need to have these conversations with our friends? Like, yo, now I'm dating this person and these are the rules. Do we need to go that far?
I think people come into spaces where they're invited, whether passively or actively. There will be permission for them to come into that space. And that's true even for your relatives. That's true even for your close family. You know, when Kitty earlier was talking about, and Roberta as well, that call my mom or call my brother, call my sister, there are also people who would have issues with their boyfriend having their sister's number because there will be a lot of communication going on there. And then it depends on the personality of your sister. It depends on what state they are in at that point. So what if the person that you're dating then is this generous person who likes to give gifts, and then you have this sister who loves to receive gifts, and then gifts are passing from behind. So this is not your girlfriend, but she's feeling like in any case, this is, and they call themselves in-laws, in quotes, this is my in-law, but she'll rightly be receiving the gifts. And then you get to know that watch, that cologne, this was bought by your guy. I don't think you will remember that that's your sister. So, yeah, so it all comes back to the permission that we give people. It could even your own mom, Safin, you could begin feeling like your mom has crossed boundaries. And whenever you have issues with this guy, he sends money to your mom. I mean, corruption is a whole deal everywhere. You could find your mom has been receiving so many gifts that no matter how much you say, I don't want to see that guy. She's like, no, just talk to him. then later on you will realize this guy has bought your mom.
Yeah, true.
So that could happen to anybody. So it depends on the personalities. It depends on the values of the people who are around you. That's why when I was winding up, I said, I get back to what Bobby said, who are these people around you? It depends on their values. It depends on how well they wish you even in that relationship. Because there are people you will call and say, I've not seen Safin, where is she? And they might actually be with you. Then they'll say, let me look for her and tell her to call you.
Yeah, hey, we are looking for those kind of friends.
You know, so they they know they cannot divulge that information because they're wondering, okay, why is she not telling you?
Yeah.
If she's not telling you, there must be something. So they'll just be like, let me try and look for her. Then let me talk to her to call you. So they leave that thing back to the two of you. So if a friend does that, see, they've also not given permission now to this boyfriend or this girlfriend to keep on investigating because they know this thing will keep coming. Yeah. So I think if you have people in your circle, no matter who they are, whether they're your friends or they're your relatives, and they're crossing the boundaries, then you probably need to talk to them and say, look, I don't like it that anytime so-and-so is looking for me, it is you they call and you give the info. I would love for it for you then to ask me to call them back. There must be a reason. Maybe they don't know. As Bobby said, maybe, see, we are socialized very differently. Maybe they don't know. And they don't know that what they are doing is messing you up. And sometimes they actually know. And sometimes then they're doing it very intentionally. So then you need to point it out to them that you have seen that this is what they're doing. So what is their intention? I think communication, Safin, is the whole deal around this thing.
So sometimes you also need to talk to your friends about some boundaries.
You do. You do. And that's where the issue of now not dating in isolation comes in, because maybe the two of you had a fight. Your friends don't know. So they think it's concern. But they don't know that this guy is now trying to check you out. You had a fight, and so he imagines that you're not talking to him, you're with somebody else. So he's trying to check you out. They don't know. They give out the information just, you know, very innocently. Maybe it's control, but they think this man is so caring and so concerned about you. Again, it comes back to what their idea of concern would be. Maybe this lady related with somebody who was never there. So she's wowed by the fact that your guy is ever trying to find out where you are. And her ideal is a man who's always trying to find out where she is. So she thinks the man wishes well, not knowing that she's actually selling you to a predator. So you need to have conversations, because as much as Bobby will say, you know, some things are obvious, obvious is not so obvious.
Yeah, true.
Obvious is not so obvious.
What you think is common sense may not be.
If I just ask somebody right now, what color are you wearing and what color is Bobby wearing, then you will realize things are not.
By the way. That's a good example.
Yeah, so I think you need to communicate where you feel the discomfort, where you feel the disrespect, where you think the boundaries have been crossed, where you think there's a breach. You need to communicate. Yeah.
I saw your body language when, you know, you agree. Be your
3 days?
Be your brother's keeper, yeah? Asiseme, like, tuko nae, but ngoja nimtafute. I'll let you know. I'll let her know that you're looking for her.
It's not necessary. Don't give out unnecessary information. Why are you telling someone my information? It's like the way, let me use a very sensitive information. It's like when you tell someone, oh, by then Nani is pregnant, you know, you're not supposed to give information. It doesn't matter what kind of information it is, whether you think it's personal, whether you think it's public. Don't give out information, someone's information without their consent. You need to consult with them first, because now that's friendship. Now those are boundaries. Don't just be like, by the way, don't do that, by the way. You know, I've told you something, Safin. These friends that you think they're friends, they're not really friends, by the way. Mimi nakwambia vile vitu ziko kwa ground. And I'm telling you, when you start sharing, even though vitu ziko, asi pessimistic, mimi naambiaga wase reality. Because at the end of the day, hizi ni conversation hatutaki kuhave. Uko sawa, mtu wangu. Venye CJ amesema, even sometimes sisters, wanangi stories, mtu anakuja anakuambia, hey, by the way, sister yangu aliolewa, ama mama yangu na bwana yangu. You've ever had those stories, Safin? Like, These things are there. They happen and they come up.
But does it mean that you don't have to share your love story?
No. I didn't say that.
Unaenda unasema vile.
Safina hapa mjanipata fiti. Yes, they can know. I mean, it's my friends can know who I'm dating. My family can know who I'm dating. But I'm just saying, unnecessary communication. This unnecessary communication and side information, side gifts. I should know of all the gifts that my friends are getting.
In fact, you can make the decision.
Actually, I can actually tell you. By the way, Bobby loves. We can gift Bobby together. Like the card can come from Cutie and Bay, you know. Like, why are you gifting Bobby? And I'm the one who is you're
the friend.
I'm the friend.
Yeah.
I'm actually the one who introduced you to Bobby, and now you want to gift Bobby, and I'm not in this conversation. You want to hang out with Bobby, and I am not in this hanging out.
Yeah.
I feel something is not right here. You see, when your boyfriend is hanging out with your friends, and you're the one who actually introduced them, or you're just in a setup, and then they walk in together. You know, I see things happening, and I'm like, something is not right. In my head, I'm just, it's not happening to me, but naonanga vitu happen in circles, and I'm like, why did those guys walk in together and the girlfriend is seated over here? I'm like, okay, what meet? No, hakuna safi.
Ngoja nimekumbuka point nyingine moto sana. Itapotea. Wewe uonangi hizo ma surprise za social media za wow, all your friends are there. Unataka wafanye kitu kama hiyo.
Cheki.
How do they plan such a thing without calling each other and having each other?
Acha nikwambie, unaweza consult mtu mmoja ama hata huyo bro yangu ndio aanze kucall amwambie hii namba ya msee mmoja. Msee mmoja ataorganize mbogi yangu yote. But sitaki boy wangu anapigia ati mabeste wangu wote kama wakumi ati surprise. Cheki, wacha ikae bro. Surprise sitaki kama it happen, and I'm telling you it's not happening to me as Safin, but I see it happening to people, and people think it's okay. These are conversations you need to have. Communicate with your partner and say, by the way, missy like vile mna hang out na beste yangu na siko hapo. Like, why would you be hanging out with my best friend and I am not in that hanging out, or I mean not in that conversation? Why you guys, the way CJ is saying, and it happens, people are gifting each other. I should be the one choosing that gift for my friend. Na kama mtu ana feel, by the way, hizo boundaries ni very important. Na ile time kitaka kusema ndio utaka hivi ujiambie. Because anaanza kuona vitu fiti hapo, he's human and she's also human. Na kama mtu ameiva Safin, kama mtu ni mali safi ni mali safi, unaona? So uwezi kamkwambia msi ati uwezi mwambia ana kafiti na nafaa kumwambia, but sasa hapo ndio boundaries inaisha. Hii mambo ya kucommunicate na kupeana information, utapata maybe your friend anapeana information maliciously because ana feel, you know, people are jealous. Unaweza pata tu ana feel jealous, so anaona na huyu dem anampendaga na huyu boy anampendaga, so anapeana information, yeye anajifanya ako innocent, but in real sense ako tu malicious, na ujui venye boyfriend yake react, na maybe anajua vile boyfriend yake react, anajua ni FBI, nikimpe information ataanza kudig up vitu, and it's not really necessary. Or you find someone giving information about my past. Maybe I've not shared my past for reasons, personal reasons. I've not shared my past. Why are you at you dem anakuanga hivi before meet alikuanga na kwa juu anafanya nini, akona maboys, nimeamua kuchange venye nimemeet boy, mbona unampatia information? So Safina, I'm just saying some information ni unnecessary na vitu zingine ni unnecessary for you to have these numbers and hang out with my people.
Yeah. There's something I want us to also talk about, and Roberta, will come to you, but let me also get your insight on this, CJ. When it comes to sharing about, especially when you're having issues in your relationship, do you think oversharing can also be something that can work against you when it comes to balancing these boundaries? Because ametaja example ingine hapo ya your friend could be malicious, using this information that you've shared in your state of vulnerability against you to your partner. What should we share and what should we keep to ourselves?
See, I think you can always tell when somebody is being malicious, because you'll always question why that information came in. So let's say, for example, somebody was asking, I can't see Safin. She's not online. I'm not reaching her on phone. I'm trying to get where she is. I said, somebody could say, let me look for her, then tell her to call you. Even when I know where you are. But if I bring up and say, well, she's at this place, she didn't tell you. See, that statement alone is very heavy.
Yeah.
That's a very heavy statement. Because it's supposed to raise something.
Yeah.
So it's like, she didn't tell you. But she was here and she's with so-and-so. So that's already extra information. This person has moved from what should have been, even if they were to give info about your whereabouts, it should have been just where you are. Or just say, no, she's fine. We were with her 3 hours ago. She was fine. So look out for her and tell her to get back to you. Because that's all that is needed. This person is trying to find out where Safin is, and maybe he's worried about her safety, or there was something they're supposed to do. So he just needs the assurance. She's fine. She's not sick. She didn't go into hospital. So that's all that is needed at that particular point. Anything else that may create anxiety, doubt, mistrust, and something, that's not too much info. That's where the malice now comes in. And you can always tell when somebody is getting malicious, because you keep on looking at what kind of information does this person give, and what is the impact of the information they give. Why is it that when this person talks to the other person, we always have a fight?
Yeah.
Why do we have issues after the two of you talk? What's the motive that this person has? And now those are now the red lights that you begin to see. So again, it comes back to the place of, you know, your friends, your family, they need to know that in case there's any issue, if somebody's looking for you, it is not up to them to be giving out info that you have not given. That they need to look for you probably, and then you will reach out to the other person. And if you don't want to reach out, you don't want to reach out because you're the one who is relating with that person, so they shouldn't even force you and say, you've not called so-and-so, you've not called so-and-so. It should be, once you've told me so-and-so is looking for me, that's enough. Just leave it there. Unless you have vested interest, you can't push, you can't pressure me, because I'm the one who knows why I'm not calling, why we're not talking. I don't want to expose our issues. I don't want to bring up why we're not talking sometimes. Sometimes even that silence is protecting the other partner. Because you may be angry with them because they were abusive, and you're protecting them from your circle and the family. You don't want to say so-and-so is like this. But then they keep on pushing that she's not talking to me, he's not talking to me. So you'll be put in the place where you have to say, this is what this person did, and you're trying to protect that. So people also must understand that you who is in the relationship, you have judgment of situations around. So there's a reason why you're doing what you're doing. You're not crazy. You're not just crazy to go quiet.
They should just let you be you. And Roberta, just to add on what Sija said, you know, especially from a lady's perspective, do you think sometimes we sort of overshare about our relationships? We give too much info that may not be good for our relationship health.
I think that's something possible. I think that's something that people should do. And just as CJ was speaking, I was thinking about how much more then important we should emphasize that it is to work on yourself before you get into a relationship. It's so, because when he was winding up, he said how you should also be able to trust that me who's in the relationship, I have clear judgment, I can be able to make proper decisions. But sometimes when you're not in the best state of mind, if you're not working on yourself, you're not healing, you're not growing, sometimes your judgment can be very skewed. You'll find yourself oversharing, doing things that you shouldn't in the relationship, or letting things go without, you know, looking or having just more confidence in yourself within the relationship. So my parting shot would be to please work on yourself. Ukiingia relationship, ingia ukijijua in a way that no one can come in and start destroying you intentionally. You'll be able to catch it. No one can come and demean you or put you down or make you feel bad. You'll be able to notice disrespect, like if your lover is doing something you don't agree with, your friends are hanging around your lover, whatever. You'll be able to see, hey, that's not okay with me, ama that's fine with me. So work on yourself. Thank
you so much. Thank you, Roberta Bobby, for saying that. And I didn't even notice that time has run so fast. We've run out of time, unfortunately. But thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for creating time for this. We do this again next Tuesday. So make sure that you catch us on that particular day. It will be interesting. My name is Safina Chengoma. For now, it's a wrap. And have a lovely day ahead.